Wait, what can this be? My hands trembled as I opened the trash bag. The reason for this was my sister-in-law, who suddenly decided to move and dump the task of disposing of her apartment's belongings on me. I have to get everything cleared out by today, so please take care of the remaining stuff, LOL. She said and then quickly hung up. I couldn't just leave it, so my husband and I went to her apartment, only to find rooms full of trash bags. As I rummaged through them, I heard what sounded like a cat's cry. Could it be she left a pet behind? When I found and opened the trash bag from where the sound was coming, wrapped in a blanket was, incredibly, a baby. I am Amy, a 35-year-old housewife. We've been married for 5 years, but we don't have any children yet. We wanted to, but it just hasn't happened. My husband, John, who is a year older than me, was raised by a single mom after his parents divorced. Though they faced financial hardships, his mom worked hard to provide for him. His mother, a kind woman, has never pressured us for grandchildren, and our relationship is good. John has a 28-year-old sister, Sarah, who is single and quite free-spirited. According to John, she was adorable as a child. Sarah, being 8 years younger than John, was always close to her caring brother, following him around everywhere. However, around middle school, she started getting into trouble shoplifting, causing scenes in stores, and even getting involved in borderline fraudulent activities. Each time, John and his mother had to deal with the fallout. She never sticks to a job for long, quickly quitting part-time jobs and then pestering her mom for money. John's lectures fall on deaf ears with her. I only see her occasionally when I visit my parents, but she looks me up and down with heavy makeup and a cigarette in hand. What a lame woman, and you can't even have kids. John, you should dump her already. Sarah says such things to my face, leaving my mill distressed and John furious. Then, one day, Sarah stormed out of the house saying, "This boring pool place is not fun," and went missing. Despite everything, John couldn't just leave her be and asked around among acquaintances and friends, but to no avail. About a year later, out of the blue, I got a call from Sarah. "Take care of the leftover stuff, will you? I'm moving suddenly. Don't tell John, he's such a nag," she said, dumping this request on me. What do you mean? I've been kicked out of my apartment. I need to clear everything out today. Hurry up, I'm going to give you the address now, so write it down. Wait, what? Hold on a second. But Sarah didn't care about my confusion, and quickly gave me her address before hanging up. After that, I couldn't reach her no matter how many times I tried calling back. I immediately contacted John. "She's always causing us trouble, but I'm glad she's okay." She said she got kicked out of her apartment. Maybe she didn't pay the rent. Always causing trouble for others. I'm going to her apartment right now. John was at work but managed to take time off to go to Sarah's apartment. "I'll come with you. We'll need all the help we can get to clean up. Sorry for always causing you trouble. I really am." "Don't worry about it." John picked me up, and we headed to Sarah's apartment. When we arrived and opened the door, we were greeted by a mountain of trash bags. Entering the room, an awful stench hit us. What is this? Was she living like this? John was appalled, but then we heard a faint crying sound, like that of a cat, coming from deep within the trash bags. Could she have left a pet behind? Rushing to rescue it, I sifted through the trash, found the bag from where the sound was coming, and opened it. I was so shocked that I lost my voice for a moment. Incredibly, inside the bag was a newborn baby. In a panic, I picked up the baby, who was still faintly warm, barely able to make a sound. "John, call an ambulance, quickly." I shouted this, and wrapped the baby in a nearby blanket. While waiting for the ambulance, John, with a furrowed brow and a perplexed look, muttered, "Is this baby Sarah's child? But to leave it here like this, it's unforgivable. Should we report this to the police? Looking closely, the baby seemed to have the same fair complexion and beautiful features as Sarah. I'll try calling Sarah one more time, just wait. With a prayerful heart, I dialed her number and finally got through to her. How many times are you going to bother me? What do you want? Her response was harsh, considering she'd asked me to clean up, but when I asked about the baby, what she said was unbelievable. "Oh, is she alive? Well, you can have the kid. You're lucky since you can't have children." I couldn't phrase it anyway. Who's the father? If I knew that, I'd be collecting child support by now. I'm busy, so I'm hanging up. Don't call me again. Wait a minute. Sarah hung up without listening to me. I was furious, but the baby's life was my top priority. Hang in there, keep breathing. I stayed with the baby in the ambulance to the hospital. The baby was only suffering from dehydration, and thankfully was otherwise healthy. John and I went shopping for baby essentials like clothes, diapers, and formula. But since we didn't really know how to care for a newborn, we decided to stop by John's mother's house for advice. "Hi, Mom, sorry to disturb you." "Oh my, Amy, what happened with that baby?" Seeing me with the baby, my Mill was shocked. After I explained the situation, she burst into tears, feeling sorry for the baby. Babies can't choose their parents. This poor child got such a terrible mother. Together with my Mill, we cleaned the baby in the bath and fed it milk from a bottle, which it drank eagerly. Seeing its determination to live was so endearing, I couldn't bear to leave it alone. Thinking about the baby's happiness, my Mill, John, and I discussed what would be best. "Let's raise this child as our own." "Really, I'd like that since she's my niece, but are you sure, Amy? Look how hard she's trying to live. We should make her happy." "Thank you." Since my Mill agreed to help with child rearing, John and I decided to move in with her and adopt the baby. Sarah has disappeared again, so the paperwork might be a hassle, but we can't just ignore this. So, we consulted a lawyer and started the adoption process. 2 years later, our daughter, whom we named Lily, has grown healthily and become incredibly cute. "Mama, Papa, love you. Grandma, let's play." Lily, a chatterbox, has become the idol of our family. Not just me, but John and my Mill adore her so much, they can't get enough of her. These were healing days with our growing daughter, but then, suddenly, Sarah reappeared. Standing at the entrance, Sarah was wearing remarkably fine clothes. "It's been a while. Sarah, you look like a different person." I've come into some money. By the way, where's my daughter?" "What do you want with her now?" "Isn't it obvious? I've come to take her back." "What?" Just then, Lily came out from the back room, calling, "Mom." I quickly stopped my daughter and spoke to her gently. "Lily, go to Grandma's, okay?" Upon hearing that, my sister-in-law's eyes lit up. "That's my daughter, huh? Oh, her name is Lily, just like my child. She's quite pretty, isn't she?" I shielded my daughter from Sarah and called my Mill, asking her to take Lily to the back of the house. When I contacted my husband, he said he would come home immediately, so I led Sarah to the living room to talk. She glared at me fiercely, biting her lip. "You might think it's fine to have her call you Mom, but I'm her real mother. I'm taking my daughter back." "Sarah, you said you didn't want the child. Why are you here to take her now?" "I'm giving my daughter to her real father." According to Sarah, she had an affair with a married man 3 years ago and gave birth to Lily, but he abandoned them because he had a wife. 2 years later, he contacted her again, saying he wanted the child since they were unable to have kids of their own. He's very wealthy. Lily would be happier with him. I was completely appalled by her reasoning, and it seemed like she was still hiding something. Just then, my Mill appeared, holding Lily. She couldn't stay silent any longer, hearing my sister-in-law's voice. Amy, you've taken such great care of Lily. Don't you dare tear apart this family. What, are you kidding me? They're just a fake family anyway. That's laughable. My Mill tried to convince her that Lily would be happier with us, but Sarah wouldn't listen. To her, there was something more important than her own daughter. I want money. If you won't give me my daughter, then pay me. $100,000 will do. I was disgusted by her outrageous demand and resolved never to give up my daughter. Then, I played a certain audio recording. Oh, is she alive? Then, I'll give her to you. You're lucky since you can't have kids. I couldn't take care of her anyway. What about the father? If I knew that, I'd be getting paid by now. I'm busy, so I'm hanging up. Don't call me again. Sarah's face turned pale, recognizing her own words. In fact, anticipating trouble with her in the future, I had recorded our conversation right after she abandoned Lily. So, you were dating many men and didn't know who the father was, right? It's absurd to just assume he's wealthy. Besides, she's our daughter now. What I presented was the adoption paperwork. The process without a mother was difficult. But with a liar's guidance, we started by filing a missing person report for the unreachable sister-in-law, and persevered. Hearing this, Sarah screamed in dismay. I'm her mother. I'll sue to get my daughter back. While staring coldly at her agitated self, I presented several more photos and documents. They were pictures of a naked baby in a pile of garbage, and a hospital medical report. Lily was in a life-threatening condition. Do you still think you can be recognized as her mother after this? But then, Sarah, trembling and biting her lip, said something shocking. I've made a deal to get paid by the father. I can't back out now. I don't care about that. I'm not giving Lily back, no matter what. At that, Sarah forcibly took Lily from my mill. Mommy, I'm scared. Seeing my crying daughter, I also tried to snatch Lily back from her. When Sarah and I struggled over Lily, she cried out, Mommy, my hand hurts. I immediately let go of her hand in a panic. Then, Sarah smirked, backing off just because the child cried, You're so soft. Wait, please, give Lily back to me, she's my life. Humph, no way. Just as Sarah was about to leave with my daughter, the door opened and a loud voice was heard. Sarah, stop. My husband had come home and blocked her way, pulling Lily away and handing her to me. Mommy. Lily, you were scared, weren't you? It's okay now. As I held my daughter tightly, Sarah clicked her tongue in annoyance. Sarah, she's our child now. We won't let you near her ever again. But, brother. Realizing she couldn't win against her brother, Sarah's bravado faded, and she suddenly burst into tears. I need my daughter back. I promised to get $100,000 from him, and I already received $30,000 as an advance. I used that money to pay off debts and buy these clothes. That was the real reason behind her desperate attempt to take the child. A child isn't a tool. Did you lie about him being the father just for the money, even though you knew he wasn't? That's, well. From the way Sarah stuttered and avoided eye contact, it was clear she was lying. Yet, she still stubbornly persisted. I'm sorry, I'll apologize, so please just pay me the $30,000 advance I received. Without it, I'll be sued. We were all astounded by her outrageous claim, not just me, but also my mill and husband, who stared at her coldly. We helped you because we thought of you as family, but maybe that was a mistake. I'm done being your mother. We're disowning you. Even you, Mom, please help me. Amy, please say something to her. Realizing her mother's firm stance, Sarah turned to me, pleading. But there was no sympathy left for her. Our only concern is protecting Lily. Don't come near her again. If you try to involve yourself with her, we'll call the authorities. How could you? After I firmly told her off, Sarah collapsed to her knees. Later, she was sued by the man to whom she had promised the child and had received $30,000. The police investigated her actions concerning Lily, and she was found guilty. She was also made to promise never to approach our family again. After being released, she borrowed money from unsavory sources to repay the man, but ended up being pursued by frightening debt collectors and once again went missing. It was a clear case of reaping what she sowed. Meanwhile, our family of 4 is living happily. My Mill, who had been a bit down because of the situation with Sarah, is now full of energy and smiles more. My husband and I are overjoyed watching Lily grow up so beautifully and honestly.